Yeah. Hi, Neal Brennan here. I don't have dates, guys. I'm going to be in Ireland in June. Don't worry about that.
Where are you going in Ireland?
Fucking Kilkenny, bro.
You are not.
Yeah.
That's that is the place of my death as a comedian.
Late, man.
Resurrection.
Did you die a horrible death?
Dude, I see that you have not seen my comedy special. You have admitted that right now because the bulk of it is a story of how painful that experience was for
All
me.
right.
And the closer of my next special, that's how painful
You're
it was.
still fucking
I'm
milking
still
that
talking.
cow?
I'm going to be known as the dude that had a bad time in Ireland.
But my special is on Comedy Central. It's on it's direct.cc.com. You can download the video for $5. And you can download the audio off of iTunes. It's the number 3 album in comedy right now, guys.
Get out. Neal Brennan
thanks,
doing
guys.
big
Thank
things.
you very much. So, guys, let's keep it at number 3. We don't have to go above number 3. Let's just keep it. Let's not go below that, though. You know what I mean?
Again.
Women and black dudes. Neal Brennan, go.
It's Moshe Kasher here. You know me. I will be in Atlanta at the Improv January 30th through February the 1st. That's this weekend. If Neal gets his shit together and gets this episode out quickly, you will know about that. February 15th, College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. February 27th through March 1st, Madison, Wisconsin at the Comedy Club on State. Charlotte, North Carolina, March 6th through 8th. And very important here, April the 1st, an April Fool's Day in New Orleans, Louisiana at One Eye Jack's with Tom Lennon and Natasha Leggero. I got all kinds of stuff coming up. Road all the time.
You keep threatening that. There's plenty happening.
There's a lot happening in my life.
Our guest today, Maseo, go.
DJ Maseo from De La Soul, and you can check me out February 2nd in Miami at the Stage, February 15th in Orlando with my man Rich Medina, February 16th at the All-Star Weekend with the Do-Over.
What is that?
The Do-Over is a scene that started in California, which is an outdoor party.
Great.
It's put together by the guys from Stone's Throw.
Oh, great.
Yeah. It's an awesome party. It's a day party. And it's
in New Orleans.
And it's going to be in New Orleans at the
Go.
All-Star
I would
Weekend.
suggest going to the day party because you ain't getting into no night parties.
Right.
At All-Star Weekend?
Yeah.
Also, you bring a bike because you ain't getting a cab either.
I think this
Man,
is really...
Neal is a real travel agent here for All-Star Weekend.
For the All-Star Weekend, this is very unique, different, and I think refreshing.
A day party? Yeah.
Yeah, a day party for All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty cool.
It's going to be hot.
And then February 22nd, Atlanta. March 21st and 22nd, Winter Music Conference.
It's got a lot going on, man. We both have a lot going on. We got a lot
you guys
coming
have a ton going on. Guys, most of my best work is behind me. I've been clear about that from the beginning.
Hey, how about we start the episode?
Fine. Before we start, Mace, you got to hold it like a non-rapper.
Okay.
No, you're still holding it like a rapper.
Okay.
Yeah, now we're talking. Let's go.
And I actually know better. I really do.
I know. You're looking at two
Yeah.
people. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Now you're fucking with the champs.
You know them stakes is high. We be talking about that.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. It's your
What's up?
favorite podcast. It's the Champs. We're back once again.
Yes.
With another hip hop luminary. I mean, we can't
We're
stop.
3 for 3 right
Three
now.
for three. This is crazy.
We had Serge, Kane,
Big Daddy Kane,
and we have more coming our way.
More
It's
coming.
Finally, I feel like we're our reputation is finally catching up with us.
Stella's getting his groove back. But for now, it's
Yeah.
DJ Maseo from De La Soul. One of the great hip hop
True,
groups of all
although I
time.
hate legend because it makes you sound 1,000 years old. We talked about that with Kane. But as I told Maseo via text yesterday, the great thing about De La is they looked 40 even when they were 20.
Past 67.
Paz looked, and he goes, no, Paz looked 40. I go, no, he looked 67.
You know what?
You looked 40.
Last week we were doing our top hip hop albums of all time, and I didn't mention Balloon Mind State is in for sure in my top 5.
I wouldn't disagree.
Amazing.
Thank you.
We'll warm up to
the
that.
least successful album.
Is that right? Well, that's what I like.
Is it really?
I go
Yeah.
after the
Well,
lowest
you guys-
bottom line.
all right.
Well, no. Honestly, now I can say Grind Date was the least successful.
Oh yeah,
album.
but but not a bad record. You guys didn't make any bad records.
That's true.
Let's start from the top. How did you guys start, and where are you from? What did you talk to us?
We met we came together in summer of '85. I had migrated from Brooklyn, New York to Long Island.
That's a heck of a migration.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that far.
In '84, actually,
That's
seemed,
2 stops in the LIRR. Go ahead.
That seemed like a long distance, when you're 14.
Fucking Harriet Tubman over here.
So,
My God, so many of your family members died on that long trek.
Man, it is a
keep
long
the
way
fucking-
from Brooklyn to
keep the
Long
Long
Island.
Island
It is,
sound.
man.
Keep
It
the
is,
Long
man.
Island sound on
That's
your
an hour
left.
drive, man. That's a long drive for a 14-year-old.
Yeah,
Especially when you didn't want to go.
yeah.
But when I got out there, I met some cool friends. It all definitely.
Where in
started.
Long Island were you?
I moved to Amityville, Long Island.
All right, so it wasn't Roosevelt or anything.
No, it wasn't
All right.
Roosevelt. It was
All right.
beginning of Suffolk County.
All right.
Yeah, the real country part.
Yeah. I was gonna say where the white people are, because like Roosevelt, fucking the Murphys are from there, and Dr. J and
There's a lot
Chuck
of black
D.
people in Long Island.
Yeah.
A whole lot of so-called Indians, Long Island, Really, you might as well say black people, in Long Island. Seriously.
So you're a 14-year-old young man.
14-year-old young man moved to Long Island. My last year in junior high school, 9th grade, didn't do so well to get to the 10th grade, so I had to go to summer school. I met these 2 guys. Actually, it was 3 guys. One guy who happened to not be a part of the group when things started to happen. But
That's hilarious that what's considered the most intelligent rap group in history met in summer school.
yeah,
Yeah.
met in summer
Met
school.
in detention.
Yeah, we had 2 classes a day during summer school. And
Meanwhile, DMX passed 10th grade with no problems whatsoever. Go ahead.
we would go over, one another's houses at, after class and start working on this music. I mean, we gravitated truly through the music.
Did you guys have any equipment or anything?
I had some turntables at the time. Paz had like this Casio keyboard. It was a Casio SK1. I mean, I was stuck on DJing since I was 12, really stuck on it. My grandmother, I was introduced to it when I was 6, but I tried everything like everyone else, and then I really got stuck on DJing.
Wait, you were introduced to DJing when you were 6
when
years
I was
old?
6 years old.
By who?
A guy named Ricky that dated this girl I called my sister at that time.
Your play cousin.
She was my mom actually dated her dad.
Okay.
That was so we were like sister and brother, and she dated this dude named Rick who had turntables, and he would let me play on it when I would come over to the house, and my mom didn't want me touching it, but he would be like.
But that was
let him
before
be.
like Rocket and shit, right? Like
Yeah,
Herbie Hancock and all that shit.
76. That was like Super Sperm, Rocket in the Pocket.
76. Wow,
Was
that
he
was
like
way
a
before
Jamaican
Rocket.
guy or something?
No,
Like, how
no,
did he?
he was
who was he?
he was half black Puerto Rican. He lived
Who
in
the
the
fuck
Bronx.
is this dude?
Yeah, who is this
Who
man?
the fuck is he to have? Nobody had fucking turntables in 76.
Ricky,
He's
call in right now if you're listening.
Half black Puerto Rican dude who lived in the Bronx, dated my sister Danielle. That was my first real introduction, and then it just been something that had been around my life growing up in the boroughs. Like it was the birth of DJing.
What did you when you said that you guys
hip hop before it was called hip hop? You know
right?
What I mean?
What did you guys bond over in terms of like? Was it just early rap, or was it like the Last Poets? Was it like soul? What was it?
The three, between the three of us.
When
Yeah.
you were young, what did you say? We want to be like these guys. Who were them?
The phenomenon of it coming more mainstream and a force to be reckoned with was getting stronger and stronger. Here it is. It was a weekend dream for most of us, just getting prepared for a party.
Right.
But it started hitting closer to home when I moved to Long Island. I felt like I was getting further away from my dream of making a record. I tried to make a record when I was 12 with some other guys.
Rhyming
You were
and
a vet.
everything.
You were a vet at that point. This was 6 years in the game. 12 years old. You and
One of
Ricky.
the hottest
I was
12-year-old
a part of
DJs.
some group called the Vicious Trio in Brooklyn, and it was my
People
uncle.
love saying how many people were in the group.
They did.
Trio,
Yeah,
duo,
around
3,
that time,
4.
It was Vicious Trio with Scratch Master Mace. That's what it
People
was.
lot of
also like being
masters.
masters.
A lot of masters.
back then.
Yeah, if you notice, I kept the master because even the first album, I called myself Pace Master Mace, and that was in honor to Jam Master Jay and Grandmaster Flash.
Right.
I think that all of us did it for that reason, for the most part. But yeah, it was me trying to do it then and moving to Long Island, feeling like I was getting further away from it because that's where it was really happening.
Right.
Until here comes Eric being Rakim being from Wyandanch, JVC Force right there from Central Islip, where they did a song called Strong Island. Here come EPMD. Craig Mack, before he was Craig Mack, in a group called Easy and Troop with a record called Get Retarded.
I fucking love that record. I haven't even heard that record. I love that record.
It's zoom, 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 zoom. Is
it downloadable?
Yeah, it is.
Is it really? Get Retarded?
It is. So YouTube, all of that.
That's my number one hip hop record of all time. Get Retarded.
Get Retarded.
Once again, on the B-side is the most delightful sounds of Diamond J-E-Z. Yo, so funky, so funky. Yo, so small, I get retarded. 1, 2, 3, and at the foreign, if it is crowded, then push down the door and check out the adventures of PE came out, you know.
They were from Long
Island. So it was more getting
all
closer.
Those guys were from, I didn't know that.
Everybody's from Long Island.
Really,
and it got closer to home where you felt like, whoa, we could do this.
Because
we
could
really do
you
this.
were almost better off from Long Island than you were from the Bronx or
actually,
Brooklyn at that point.
Truthfully.
Yeah.
Come on, even LL is from Long Island. He doesn't really.
But he represents Queen as she was raised up in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you got to.
That is a cold, harsh fact of life.
Yeah.
That's in the encyclopedia.
Yeah,
it had to be said.
That was funny though.
Kane found him funnier than me. I think.
Neal and I have an ongoing rivalry,
which hurt me to my heart. Okay. So then, how do you? So then, you guys, you do parties for a couple years.
Doing parties around. I mean, I was known for doing the parties. You know, I made my first $300 when I was 15, doing some party in the neighborhood.
That's a lot of money.
It kept growing from there. I kind of felt like I was in the business once I made that $300.
Right.
And then you know, there was cats like Biz Markie showing up to the parties I'm DJing at. Prince Markie D showing up. Coogee Rap showing up.
Because they wanted to hear you, or just because?
Well, these were the towns that sound systems were known for more. It was still a sound system era. So I would rock with a certain sound system. And
it was like that in the early days of the rave scene, actually. It's like the sound system would become a celebrity on its own.
Yeah, and it was the dude who owned the sound system, and it was DJ Skip, who was the celebrity of the neighborhood, and it was all the other DJs who was.
So you borrow Skips? Would you borrow Skips?
We would come play on this set. What I was kind of known for was being a new guy who had records no one else had because I came from the city.
And when you and the other guys met, and when you started to record stuff in those early days, was there any inkling of the sort of spirit of what De La was going to become, or was it just a bunch of kids?
Just kids doing our thing.
So that kind of progressive or whatever thing you would describe De La as, that wasn't there in the beginning. It was still just.
It really progressed over our natural friendship of just hanging out, and when we finally got into being the different people that we are, like, obviously, Pos is the nerd. Dave is the bugged out Caribbean dude in the group. I'm from Brooklyn. There's a rough edge. Much as I got the smile on my face, I can definitely turn it another way because I have to maybe protect myself in different instances. But for the most part, there's a rougher edge.
I think I might be from Brooklyn too.
There's a rougher edge that people recognize with me than the other two.
And that probably made for some good musical alchemy. It was the three different kind of spirits.
It really has. It really has. You know.
Let's not even get. Okay, so how do you? So you party. You guys are doing. You're hanging out.
Neighborhood parties, like Long Island was a complete different.
2 songs, 3 songs as De La.
Plug tuning came to life summer of '85, but it was completely a whole nother way. Ghetto Thing came to life summer of '85.
What's Ghetto Thing?
It's just a ghetto thing. Doom, 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 doom. Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Who did it? Who did the song?
I programmed the beat. Dave had the bass line. We can attribute.
Okay, so that was a De La song.
It was
All
a
right.
collective production.
Okay,
but I attribute the introduction of the production from Dave, and we did it so many different ways. But the final is what you hear on.
It's a De La record. All right.
On the 3 Feet High and Rising. But that came to life 85. Three's a Magic Number came to life 85. Freedom of Speak. These were all songs that were done on a 4-track.
And
Really?
They're all floating around your world way before 3 Feet High and Rising.
Way
you're saying.
before 3 Feet High and Rising,
Right.
but way before we even had a name for the group.
And what would
we
you
were just
do with
friends.
these songs?
Sorry?
What would you do with these songs? Put them, play them, do them in parties?
No,
Did
these
you-
songs were private.
Oh, got it. All
Literally,
right.
like, nobody knew we were a group.
Got it.
Really,
Including you guys.
We were, yeah, truthfully, even us. Because
Yeah.
we were just getting up, making music, and then we would just go hang out. And a lot of times it would be the parties I would just show up and get on, or I was designated to do the party. And
Right.
Cats would just hang out, dance, chill with the girls, neighborhood
Right.
stuff.
What would the other two guys do when you were DJing before you would coalesce as a group? Would they come hype the party up? Or they would
No,
just sit
Dave
there and
Immerse
hang out?
Dave Immerse never grabbed the mic at no party ever. Like never. Like one time I saw Dave grab the mic at a party. It was in the high school gym, and he did the beatbox, and he was in a beatbox battle. The only time Paz ever grabbed the mic at a party was right after we put our plug tune in. That was the very first time. And it was one other time we did the talent show at the school, and we did perform Ghetto Thing. And that was the one time.
And you guys were all in high school when
we
you
were
came
all
up with Three's a Magic Number,
Yeah,
Plug Tune, and
That's
Yeah.
pretty fascinating to think about a high school
High school.
talent show, and you're watching De La Soul, but you don't know. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
know that you're watching. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah. It was the talent show, and we performed a different version of Ghetto Thing.
all right. So you have a bunch of songs floating around, and then how do you get on? Like how do you?
It's all on
become-
cassette. Running into Prince Paul periodically.
What
through
was
the
he doing at that
neighborhood.
point?
At that time, Prince Paul was in a group called Stetsasonic.
Oh, right.
He had graduated high school in '85, so my year on the way up, he was on his way out, and that was when things were really taking off for him. Because On Fire came out, Just Say Stat, then working up to like by the time I was in 11th grade, Paul was well into his second album, which had I think the album was called In Full Gear. And it had Sally on it, and DBC let the music play, talking all that jazz,
Right.
all of that,
So he's 19, 20.
Yeah, he's about 20 at this point, 20, 21.
You got a good mind, man. You remember so much shit.
My long-term memory
pretty out
is
of
better
control.
than my short-term.
Right.
Got to do with smoking pot.
No,
I think.
we smelled your short-term memory. On the way in.
All right. So what does Paul say? Do you play your shit for him? Also, you're hip hopping us.
Paul
again,
comes up to the school. He would
man.
always.
You're hip hopping us again, man.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
He's trying to spit. He was holding it by the by the head of the
I was
mic.
cuffing the mic, son.
So do you play this cassette for Paul?
Yeah, he comes up to the school around the
I
time
love school is involved in your career at all.
I mean, Amityville High School is pretty a monumental place. Long Island was like Brady Bunch life to a degree. There was some harsh parts of it with the crack era, of course.
Right.
But traditionally, the whole keg party and football field and all that.
Was it mixed?
Big, yeah. It was definitely, a lot of different ethnic groups kicking it.
Right.
And did the white kids in that high school, did they have were they into hip-hop at that time at all, or were they just like, we're going to go play rugby? I don't know what you guys are doing.
What's crazy, everybody did play either rugby or lacrosse, but everybody was into Red Alert and Chuck Chill Out,
Right.
Molly Mall, and then here you had 92 KTU with Carlos de Jesus at a certain other hour, you know what I mean? It was
Right.
That was still popping in that area, so, sharing, those essence of the 80s, like, all that music was great. It was a great time for integration, migration. When I moved to Long Island, I was like, what the hell is this?
Right.
Because I lived over here in Bed-Stuy with nothing but black people, but then I'm bust to school to Bensonhurst with a lot of white people, so you see the difference. You see the major contrast.
Me and Moshe are smiling at each other because every episode I say that black dudes that spend time with white people at a young age are better off long term than those that don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and
true.
he disagrees with me for like a couple months.
I never disagree. It's just
and
an ongoing argument that you
people don't want to hear it from a
reason.
white person because they think I'm like on some white power shit.
Which he
And
is,
I'm
but that's not
which
connected.
has got nothing to do with it.
The Long Island was I could say one of the best true cultural experiences in my life. Like, I got a lot of white friends, truthfully, from Long Island, and I truly, that has tremendously helped me out through the rest of my life,
Not to sidetrack you off this.
I know it does though. That's what's fucked up. It does.
Yeah.
Not to sidetrack you off this story, but do you think that you would have made it in the hip hop world had you never moved to Long Island? Because you had those dreams already in Brooklyn. Where do you?
When I think back, probably not. Probably not. Definitely.
It took white people.
No, but you would have gotten something.
I mean, already coming up in Brooklyn, I was an unusual kid anyway. The bravado that always exists amongst the culture, even at that early age. A young kid coming up in certain conditions in the boroughs was forced to be a bit more mature than he really should be.
Right.
So here it is. I like to be fun and happy-go-lucky. I am the class clown and all of that. And here it is. I was once a kid who wore crazy-looking glasses and things like that. And those moments of dealing with the peer pressure of being teased in these environments that are traditionally looked at one way, I've learned how to fight. Mm-hmm. That funny, jokey, chubby kid, with the crazy glasses, learn how to kick ass.
Right.
After especially getting my ass kicked so many times, But Long Island was a lot more broader thinking, living,
It sounds like that thing that we were talking about with that De La Soul spirit, whatever that is, probably came in some way from that weird melting pot cultural
Of course it did. Because I don't think if you're the hard one, meaning if you're like part nerd and part like free spirit and part like I'm not just all about black culture.
I claim my nerd. I do claim my nerd. I do. I claim it.
All right. So as well you should.
My nerd.
Right. Here's something.
But my nerd has allowed me to learn how to fight.
Yeah, but this nerd,
you took a nerd's approach to fighting.
You got to write that book, man.
You did it with formulas and shit. The whole fight slowed down. And you see like fucking like Sherlock Holmes, or you'd see vectors.
I mean, that was a whole kind of theme in 3 Feet High and Rising, right? Was like, you call us hippies, but we'll beat your ass.
Okay,
we're actually.
Well,
but let's just get before.
I'm trying to jump ahead.
No, I know.
Neal.
Let's ease into
I don't
it.
want to let this.
All right, so
happen.
Paul, God damn it, Mace just slapped Moshe's hand and gave him a pound.
Neal's getting so jealous.
He's my friend.
I know it. We'll never have what you have.
No.
God damn it. All right, so Paul, listen, you play. Paul comes to your school.
Paul comes up to the school. This just happens like out of nowhere. I'm getting ready to go to my next class. The conduit is always the cafeteria. To cut through, to go to any class in the freaking school. And this is everybody comes up through the parking lot, come through the cafeteria. I see Paul.
Was Paul there to like
through.
mack on young girls or something? What was he doing?
He's
there?
just chilling like R. Kelly in the playground.
Could be. I don't know. No, I don't think so.
By the way, I was talking to Chris Rock about the
R. Kelly
R. Kelly article, and he goes, R. Kelly's basically just a black version of Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's amazing.
Fucking Jesus
With more
Christ.
talent.
No,
Matthew
of course.
McConaughey
He's
wasn't doing shit in
he's
Days
like
of
he's just
Confused.
hanging out at the high school for too long. He
Right.
can't get over that shit. All right, so Paul's there.
Do you know who he is, and do you freak out? Are you
No,
like,
I
oh,
know
shit,
Paul. Just that was the thing. I didn't freak out like everybody else was freaking out. And here it is. Everyone else grew up with him. And it's the world around Paul that's changing, not Paul. Because he's having a success. Mind you, when we think back, we even talk about it now, it's like the success wasn't even that big. But to us, it was huge.
Always.
Yeah.
It's always like that.
We didn't hear the record until the weekend anyway. You know, only video show that was playing
That's funny.
was Ralph McDaniels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was everything to us.
Yeah.
You know? It still is everything to me. But to see how everybody was truly making a big deal out of it, and when I really actually got to know Paul, he's like, he always, and I repeat this in my own life to this day. Yo, man, way more fame than fortune. Way more fame than fortune. He's like,
Yeah.
I do this because I really love it. Like, the things that I go through. And then he started talking about the group situation, and the more he starts sharing those stories. But when we initially met, it was definitely behind the music, and me always saying that I had something to play and there's something about me. He just like, yo, you always say that. What you doing right now?
Right.
I end up cutting the rest of the day. I went with Paul. You know, he's...
I love he's like
There's
an inspirational
There's
coach.
that summer
You know,
school spirit. That's the
I-
spirit
No,
that
he's
got
like
him
an
into.
inspirational coach. But he's like, come on, cut class.
on,
Let's make
yeah.
something of your life.
I cut class. I just made a judgment call and just said, yo, nothing right now. He's like, what you doing? I'm like, nothing.
So where'd you go? Your house? His house?
We
They're
ride
riding around with
the
Paul.
neighborhood first, and he's playing the In Full Gear album. You know, things I knew that when it got to the album, they even had to change some things because of samples or what have you. But all the pre-stuff that they were doing for the album, I was like, yo, this is dope. And he's like, yo, I'm glad you like it, but he's like, this is the stuff I want to try. You know, and I'm having struggles with my group. So he started playing these wild little bugged out skits and things like that. And I'm like, dude, this is like right up our alley. I was like, I need to play you some stuff, you know? He's like, let's go to your house right now. And my house got cassettes now. Cassettes. Go get them. We playing them in his system. I played them now. The version of plug tuning that we really feel good about. I played them Freedom of Speak. The version we really feel good about.
Just to clarify, at this point, De La Soul has only ever performed at a talent show.
Yes.
And you're supposed to be in class.
And I'm supposed to
Yeah,
be in
yeah.
class. Yeah.
The police are looking for you.
The truant officer.
Truancy
The truant
officer
officers are
is
looking
a
for you.
fan.
officer was looking for me.
Shaking his fist.
Mr. Chirillo. Yeah, word.
I like how you know the truant officer's fucking name. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we used to have cut parties. They called Gary Small's cut parties. Big up to Gary Small. Mr. Chirillo used to come over there looking for all of us.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, playing all those demos that we did on 4-track in my house, like even the duping of cassettes. That was like some of our first recordings, just constantly dubbing cassettes and dubbing cassettes. We got this major hiss, but we got all the production laid down and formatted the way you want to. So I play all that stuff for Paul, and he was like, yo, this is amazing. This is right. He's like, I have to do this. He's like, I need a meeting with you guys. He's like, tell your boys we need to get up.
What class are they in right,
Right.
now? We have to
I don't know
go.
if we
I don't
can do a
even know.
meeting right now because
I don't
Dave's
even
got his
know.
paper
He's
route.
he's at the pizza place.
I don't even know.
So you guys have a meeting, and Paul's like,
yeah, we have a meeting like a couple of days after that, you know, go over Paul's house. You know, well, as far as I can remember, he goes, yo, I can't make you guys no promises, but let's take this stuff in the studio and clean it all up. Like, really
Right.
put some real professional quality on this. So we took all the ideas in, and then, you know, Paul also started marrying other samples to the things that we had. So, you know, he coming in was great, you know, because it was like having a fourth member with a good view on what we were trying to deliver, you know. He helped bring a lot to life, you know.
right.
He felt like
And he just so happens to be a great producer. It's just one of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
weird fucking things. It's like
Yeah,
some
he-
guy
he-
from your
he-
school.
he's a really dope producer, but unfortunately, you know, fortunately and unfortunately, we are great producers as a group as well, and we never got that credit for that. You know, it was definitely like Paul was a fourth member of the group, and we all had significant stuff that we brought to
Right.
the table. Here it is. I was responsible for me, myself, and I. Pos is responsible for entirely a lot, and that we all end up building on. Because I can truly say this was an era when MCs knew what they wanted to rap to. They were heavily involved in the production, which made the concept of the lyrics and the track really come to life, you know, that it wasn't like everybody was just designated a job, you know. We all shared the same role pretty much.
Right.
Even if I had an idea for a chorus, that's what it was going to be. You know, we just didn't understand those titles back then.
Oh, producer, co-producer, yeah.
Producer,
That's fascinating.
co-producer.
But I always say the music business is so fucked up in that you guys just take each other's word for it. Meaning, like, you just go in,
Yeah, you kind of
and you
just go
and
with
then
it.
and then they divide credit up later, and people get fucked,
Well,
money wise and credit
well,
wise.
what happens? One thing I don't blame Paul for none of it.
Yeah.
Because there was also a limited of experience he had just coming out of being in a group and dealing with some convoluted behavior over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't blame him for any of that.
Yeah.
You know. But I do blame the people who do have that experience, who warranted that experience. Like, you know, much respect to Dante Ross, but the production supervisor should have been Prince Paul. You know, that was the title of the quote-unquote executive producer back then.
And what was Dante's credit?
And Dante Ross was production supervisor.
Got it.
You know, I think in all fairness, he was the A&R.
Oh, but he just was like, well, this will do.
I don't know. I think
Whatever.
that was just something that was done just with the lack of knowledge on our end.
Right.
And, you know, I can't say Dante was responsible for that. I don't know. That I don't know. Here it is. He works for the label.
Right.
So that could have been Tom.
How did you even get to the
Could have
label?
been
That's
Monica.
my question.
Well, the odd option we had out of a lot of other artists that we had the options. They went shopping at A&M Records. This was around the time when major labels was trying to make transitions into hip hop now, but doing it on a small scale with small budgets because they what they see what Tommy Boy has been doing and Def Jam has been doing, and everybody wanted us, but the offers were whack. Like, you know, they was definitely like, okay, KRS-One gave us the blueprint of how to handle your business. But the record company now...
Directly, like...
You know, KRS-One, you know, his introduction to the business, it was like it being informative, letting rappers know, let's not get robbed like Flashing them back in the day, or Sugar Hill.
And
you know,
so
us new era of rappers was inquiring that knowledge, and we were keen on like not trying to get fucked, you know?
Right.
You know, so, but it definitely would come back, you know, you may know the business, but know where you stand, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I'm the dude with the money invested in your dream, you know? And we made the most sound option in going with Tommy Boy because they got experience at hip-hop, you know? Everybody was getting into the business just because they see where it's going and it's the new trend/fad in their eyes. But Tommy Boy had been in the game, and here it is. They've been.
And what did Russell think of you guys?
Russell came to us after the fact. We went to Def Jam first, but then he came back to us later. You can also tell from what was on Def Jam that they were in a different space.
Yeah, all right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There was a bravado that was birthed through Russell that they didn't quite see. Come on, we was too soft-hearted for what he was already promoting. You know? If it was anything soft in his eyes, it was like Houdini.
Right.
You know what
Dancy
I mean?
or stuff
Yeah,
or whatever.
Mother outfits.
ladies lover kind of thing. You know?
All right, so you make the record. That takes a year?
Yeah, it took about a year. Say, about 8-9 months.
Like you guys like, oh shit.
We're making a record. There's just a lot going on, good and bad. Shit that's going on in my life. Got a kid on the way, all kinds of stuff going on. Still got my foot in the hood with certain things because I'm in a single-parent home and all of that. And
your crazy glasses are now in a monocle.
Learning that Long Island wasn't that much different from the city, and the crack era just destroying everything. And it's a come up for some of us and destruction at the same time. And I'm in the mix of that, trying to make this record with my crew. And, you know, everybody's dealing with their own level of struggle. You know, Paz, you know, of course, I'm thinking David Merch coming from really good homes, but Paz at this time, his mom's got cancer. And, you know, she died right before the first single came out. So he's dealing with something, you know, Dave's people's already like, you know, dealing with the migration of coming from Haiti. Still deal with like, you know, having to reinstate their citizenship and all that crap. So they were dealing with that, and I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. And we having this dream come to life, but Dave's still off to school. Pa's making his way off to school.
So, yeah, you're making a record and they're going to school?
I'm going to school. We would be
High school.
I'm still in high school.
Amazing.
Pas had graduated. Pas graduated the year Plug Tuning came out. He graduated 87. I was supposed to graduate 88 the year it came out. I ended up graduating in 89 when 3 Feet High and Rising came out. And in the midst of all of this, I'm going back and forth to school. We hanging out in Latin quarters, taking the Long Island Railroad back home. I'm going right from Long Island Railroad to class, making the best of it, trying to really finish school in the process of all of this happening.
Are you performing Latin Quarter or you're just fucking around?
No, just really doing what Paul feels is necessary to be seen.
Got it.
So we got to be in front of everybody at
Right.
all the hot spots, from the quarters to Red Parrot to whatever the spots are.
Right.
With whatever our image is at the time,
How are you guys dressing at this point?
I mean, Tashini suits, back in the day before they
That would be the Sergio
came with the
Tashini
Sergio
sweatsuit.
Tashini sweatsuits.
Generally burgundy.
Yeah, or
tan.
or tan or green or green.
Green was also a
Green
hot
and
color.
black. Yeah.
Sure.
Wearing Travel Fox shoes, sneakers.
Okay, so the record. So you start to get a feel that the record might pop. You start to. What do you? It's just like
when
shit,
Plug
it's
Tuning
coming
came
out.
to light after doing the sessions at Calliope and then going and hanging out the club, and Plug Tuning finally came to light with the test presses. Red Alert was all over it. Chuck Chill Out was on it. P Fine was on it.
So they're playing it on the radio.
They're
They're playing it on the radio.
Remember Big Dr. Dre. I gotta say these guys' names because this is all we had on the weekend.
Yeah.
When it came down to wanting to be a rap star. I mean, everybody in the game couldn't really be who you are.
It's so crazy
It was
that
till
even
the
in
weekend.
'88 it was still marginal. I remember in high school a girl saying to me, "There's going to be an all rap show on MTV." And she thought it was called Yo Raps MTV, and I was like, no, it's called Yo MTV Raps.
Oh, you were
I
down
won,
at that
I
point?
won $20. Yeah,
shit.
yeah, I won $20 on that bet. But no, it was so marginalized, it was hard to find. And so you would only get played. Yo MTV Raps was a
weekend.
TV show on MTV on Saturday at 10 o'clock.
And they would say it was for an hour, but it was really 30 minutes because they had all these commercials,
Yeah.
But-
Well, you had a video that was getting play on your MTV Rap.
It was Potholes in My Lawn.
Oh wow, yeah.
Potholes in My Lawn was the first video. It was not too far after, this was the era where we didn't even catch album deals in the beginning. It was like, let's try this 12-inch first.
Right.
Depending on how this do, the label has the option to do another single with you or not do
Did you
anything.
guys have a deal, or did you had the test deal?
We had the test deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was the response? Because
It came back strong. It was like Boston was hopping with it. L.A. was hopping with it. Latin community getting wind of the name De La Soul. And
Right.
yeah, interesting.
that hopped, It was certain things that was working for it, Texas. That's when the sound was still kind of slow for Texas, the chop and screw.
All the way back then.
Back then.
Interesting.
We were doing early shows with Ghetto Boys and Sir Mix-a-Lot back
Wow.
That's a very strange lineup.
then. Yo, man,
I mean, I bet no. It makes
that's when hip-hop was all under one roof.
Right.
Everybody always want to say the native tongue era, but it was more to it than just us. It just, we happened to catch major mainstream love, but there was still Diamond D, Brand Nubians, Nice and Smooth, there Chubb Rock, Special Ed. There was an era of us.
Right,
that was
right.
just diverse. We was all diverse. I guess the ones that came more like-minded was us, Jungle, and Tribe. But here it is. Even Moni was different from us. So was Black Sheep. That's
Right.
why they was called Black Sheep.
Well, let me ask you: do you have a feeling, without dissing anybody else, why is it that De La and Tribe, and pop up above like your Chubb Rocks and Nice and Smooth? Why in the memory of hip hop do you think you guys are remembered in a different way?
We came right at the peak of hip hop hitting that mainstream format, like beginning to earn that respect for the mainstream format. I mean, even I think business decisions that we were guided to make early on, we end up going with Rush Management, who was totally in control of the politics of hip hop at that time.
That's Russell's management company.
Russell Simmons and Leo Coleman, ran hip hop, from a management standpoint, even as well with Def Jam. It was a revolution happening at that time, where the genre was coming from, how it was diversifying and transcending into mainstream. And I think Tommy Boy, out of respect of being there first, caught that wave.
Right.
I don't really think Tom Silverman was really heavy into the culture like that. He just stumbled on the business, and him and Bambaataa happened to be friends. He definitely saw the business clearly, but the sustainability of the genre and the culture, I think it had a lot to do with Leo and Russell, and I give a lot of props to Leo. Really, I really do, man.
Jewish, man.
Jews, man. Oh, I was already thinking it. I mean,
You
I
were
was
right
already
there. You're right on it.
I
He's
was very
Jewish.
happy to hear that.
That combination of these two guys, and the barriers Leo helped the doors he helped knock down for hip hop to sustain in the mainstream format. Definitely with the arena tours, that struck the match to it all, really, because here it is. NWA was on these tours. We were all on these tours together, but NWA was on these tours with only neighborhood publicity. They went nowhere past a PBS channel. They didn't have radio play or mainstream television, and we're selling out 15 to 20,000 arenas. Just
were you opening for NWA or another tour?
We all opening for LL.
Oh yeah,
that NWA tour was the one Too Short was talking about.
We all opening for LL. Too Short was on this tour as well, and this one LL didn't have a good record out that year either. Mm-hmm. He had Walking with a Panther out.
That's, again, Rock said that LL, his Rock, LL will make a good record, then he'd make a shitty record. He'd get mad about people's response to the shitty record, and then he'd make a good record. And
from the fuel,
he did
from
that.
The bad,
yeah,
he had
did
to make
that.
bad records. Then.
Yes.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Okay, so you guys are considered like the sort of hippie rappers, right?
Yeah.
And then you got sick of that.
It was happening. It was just a misunderstanding of what was taking place in the process. Like, we knew, like, the minute people start adopting that idea that this is what we're doing, the very thing that's blowing us up gonna kill us.
Interesting.
It's gonna kill us.
It's like the Beastie Boys Fight for the Right to Party thing. It's like they knew.
We need you to see the music more than you see this image.
Right.
And what we're saying is the Daisy Age is not what you're saying. It's like the Daisy Age mean completely something different to us.
What did it mean to you?
It means it was an acronym. It means the inner sound, y'all. Just the sound from within us that's just true and honest, letting out every emotion, of who we are just as people, Dave was like, yo, man, we just need to be ourselves. Like, even ourselves that our friends don't even know about. We have so much fun when we get together, just the three of us, and we let our true innocence come out when we doing the music together. That's something that we just need to do for the rest of the world, regardless to what people might come back and say. At the end of the day, Mace, you know who you are. I know who I am. Posh, you know who you are,
That is interesting. I mean, basically, De La, you can hear you guys having fun more than maybe Digital Underground. Those are like the two bands you can hear the group having fun.
And the Beastie Boys, yeah.
And the Beastie Boys,
I mean, it's the most I could say, truly, especially with the shit I was dealing with in my life, the most I could felt like my true innocence could come out and not be judged or thinking that somebody going to play me out because I'm just trying to be a kid, really.
Right.
Because hearing other times, oh, he's a sucker. You know what I mean? And then I'm into some shit.
Right.
Because I'm just trying to be a kid.
I got edge. I'm from Brooklyn. I've been DJing since 6. I knew Ricky.
Nah, but if I get up and I slap you with this 2x4 that just happened to be on the ground because we playing in the park and somebody broke the fence accidentally and you fucking with me, and there's a 2x4 right there. Yeah, this nice, chubby, playful kid just smacked the shit out you with this. Because ultimately, I'm scared about what's going to happen to me. That's the real deal.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
So that message is very clear on your first on 3 Feet High was like very clear. Like you guys, that was a message. It was there. We're not. You say we're hippies.
It was.
No, we're not.
It was slightly there on the beginning, but it more so came out on De La Soul is Dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew early on, like, how you were going to be perceived.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, and then
it was a struggle too, man, to accept that because we got in a lot of trouble on the first tour. Like on
for
that.
what?
In what way?
We was fighting a lot.
With each
You're
other.
fighting more than NWA.
We was fighting
With each other or with crowds?
That's amazing.
With people on like going city to city, and people just trying to play us. Like we drew a strong allegiance with Kane and them because we would help each other in different situations. Like we got kicked off that tour because we were fighting so much.
What'd you do? Tell us that story.
Yeah, go ahead. We've got time.
It was those moments where people definitely thought we were just soft, man.
Right.
Oh, so they would question
and being
you.
the rookie rapper of the year, not only having issues with the production company of the tour and pretty much acting out very infantile in business situations, that was definitely, they were doing us wrong, but we could have handled things a lot better.
Right.
We would flip over the table in the dressing room and all of that. That was infantile.
They were doing you wrong. They just weren't paying you enough.
No, it had nothing to do with the payment. It had a lot to do with the accommodations and the treatment.
Got it.
That just
what
because
was the order of that tour?
we were first, we were openers.
You're hip hopping me again, by the way, on the mic.
We were the opener act. Then it was flip flop, but the majority of the tour we were the opener act. Then it would be NWA. Then it would be Slick Rick and Too Short, then LL. And it would flip flop back and forth.
Such a laughably great show.
I mean, right?
That's such
They would
a fucking
flip flop
great
back
show.
and forth between Too Short and Slick Rick. And then Kane came on the tour a little later. And then Kane was co-headlining. And then
With LL.
Yeah, Kane was the co-headliner. And then it would be Too Short and Slick Rick that'll bounce back and forth. It would go back and forth between Too Short, Slick Rick, and Kane as the co-headliner, depending on what cities we were in.
And were you friends with NWA? You were friends with all these guys?
We all were fans of one another, and we all had met each other pretty much for the first time.
And then
on that tour.
Did you have good relationships on
I
the
had
tour?
great relationships. Like, that was the best rap tour I've been on in my life,
It's hilarious.
next to Spit Kicker, Here at Spit Kicker, I was an elder statesman.
Right.
I was the new jack out there. And
Still having fun.
And the oldest guy on the tour was probably
I learned
Slick Rick
about
at 28.
the cocktail drink, Sex on the Beach, and buffalo wings from Big Daddy Kane.
First of all, the
you
fact
remember-
that you never heard about Sex on the Beach from Long Island, that's fucked up. That's surprising.
Do you remember any crazy stories from that tour?
Hell yeah.
Come on, give us
Go,
a couple.
man. Come
Give us
on,
some
man.
good ones.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see.
Easy E, Cube, Dre.
Well, Easy E, God bless the dead, man. Yo, what they used to call Easy? The thrill seeker. That's what they used to call Easy. The thrill seeker. And it's, God bless the dead, man. Much respect, but I can understand why he did get the virus, dog. Like, he used to barbarically grab hoes. Yo, pardon me, Easy.
Yeah.
God bless, man.
What do you
know
think
I'm
he's
not
up-
lying, fam.
Yeah.
You think he's
You
up
know
there
what I'm saying?
upset about that?
Nah,
He's
he
like,
probably
goddamn right.
He probably laughing his ass off.
Yeah.
But he used to, he used to barbarically grab chicks up. It was that era of real live groupies back then, man. Like, I think we caught the very end of that because here it is. I missed the Dope Jam tour. I missed the Fresh Fest. Those were the years I was a fan dreaming of doing that shit. So I can imagine, but to catch the tail end of that and watch certain antics of different people.
Did you notice that the women that would approach you guys were different than the women that would approach NWA, or was it just hip hop groupies?
It was hip hop groupies, period. It changed as the years went along, and the dynamics is really funny because after that tour, hip hop then began to get segregated.
Right.
But the same hoes come out to the same shows. I don't care what you say. Like, when it got segregated, okay, if it's now Most Def, Common, De La, The Roots, right? The same hoes show up with the head wraps and the incense and all
hilarious.
that. They just get geared up for the
They just had
nature of
different
the
outfits.
event.
Yeah.
And then if it's Snoop, DMX, Jay-Z,
Rule,
Ja Rule, they'll put on the mini skirt and the pumps and the same hoes. The same hoes. Now, let me not take away from the real women that do show up, but the reality is they know their role when they come out and they know how to get dressed for the nature of the event. I mean, hoes go to church, man. Come on. They know how to, get
They have change of clothes. Okay, so so then your records, are they selling well?
The record was doing extremely well. It was.
Did you guys go platinum at all?
That was a bit of a fight with the label. Here it is. You couldn't prove platinum at that time because there was no sound scan.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
So
there was no sound scan until like 91.
Yeah, so that was.
So they would
no
keep it
sound
from
scan
you.
was like 93, I believe.
Yeah.
Like
So they would keep it from you unless
perfection of sound scan.
Right.
93.
Yeah.
So unless it was obvious that it was platinum, they would try to
Yeah,
keep
but
it from
they
you
were
so they don't
keeping
have
it
to pay
from
you.
so we didn't have to renegotiate.
Uh-huh.
There's those terms in the contract that allow you to renegotiate, provide you guys certain sales.
Right.
And they were holding
It's like
back
tickets
that.
at a comedy club, man.
Yep.
Trying to hit that bonus.
Yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That bar guarantee. All
Oh,
that.
yeah. I've been in a club. It'll be sold out. And I'll be like, I got my bonus, right? And the dude will walk me over to one empty chair and point at it. I'm like,
Yeah,
come
sorry.
on, man.
Come on, man. You
I
couldn't,
don't-
you couldn't buy that back.
Right.
No,
Right.
I know. That's
Right.
I've come so close to doing that, buying 40 tickets.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just so I can get my bonus.
Right.
Even if I don't make money, it's like, fuck you. If I make $20, it's worth it.
Right.
I had a waitress one time whisper to me, they brought in 50 chairs over the fire
outrageous.
limit.
Yo, man, I learned this business so well behind the shit we've been through.
What's it like as you guys start succeeding? You're touring, you're making some money, you're moving, you're making records more, you're bigger budgets for records, shit like that.
Bigger budgets for records, more money for touring.
By the way, I'd like to point out how dudes from New York say record.
Records?
Record. It's the best.
It is
Record.
good. There's
Record.
nothing better than a New
Record.
York.
Then a New York hip hop record. It's the fucking best. Dudes from like the 80s and 90s call records.
No, records. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So you start and is it like a dream fulfilled and you're like, this is great? What was it like?
No, it was awesome. Like every part of it was awesome. Like the creative part, the energy and the nervousness of that transition and deciding on what we're going to do business-wise. All this big decision-making on a record just naturally taking off.
Right.
We just being kids following the success. Like we weren't being proactive. We were reacting.
Right.
We just like the dream part was done. We made the record. Like honestly, after Plug Tuning, Dave was really off in his studies. Pos was off in his studies.
What do you mean by that?
They were in college already.
Interesting.
I'm finishing high school. I'm like, okay, Plug Tuning is done.
Just can't stop going to school.
Yeah.
De La will not stop learning.
I think
You
it's-
still sound a little bit surprised by the whole thing.
Yeah, because I can't front, dog. I still pinch myself to this day knowing the era we come from with it. Like,
Right.
It was literally a dream where now you could really present this as an occupation. Like, dudes are uploading their songs from home. And if it click, it click. And a lot of it is shit that clicks. You know what I'm saying? So, really, like, you had to be co-signed in this game back then. Like, I wanted the respect of Chuck D. I didn't care about MTV, BET, or, let alone, I did care about radio because I cared about who my favorite DJ was on playing on the radio,
Just to give the listeners a view of what's happening here, Maseo did not show up with an entourage. He showed up with one guy. But as the episode has gone on, we now have an entourage in the building. This is very exciting stuff. Yeah, we feel very good about this.
And it's a multicultural. It's a white guy.
It's a real diverse entourage.
It's a Search-looking white guy. The Search was here last week.
Yes,
An Oakland hat on.
That
I
was
can't
great.
say it's
That
the
was great
same lighting
we've been
'cause Search
calling
was
him
here.
that for years.
Yeah, and like a light caramel looking dude with a.
He's got an
with a
Oakland
very
hat on, so that's warming
fan-
me up to him already. The white guy has an Oakland hat on.
Oh, there you go.
So we're very happy about this.
All right, so
It's my West Coast clique.
yeah. All right,
they say
so
records.
That's my Canadian clique right there.
all right, so it starts going well, and then you're just sort of off to the races. And how many records did you guys make?
I mean, it was just the first process of the first album. The single, we were done when it was plug tuning. I was ready to go to the military after I was done with high school.
You just had to go to school somewhere.
Well, that's the era of like, we hated school, but we knew we had to do this for our parents. That's just something
Right.
I knew. Like, no matter where I went in life, my mom was like, "Please, can you just do this for me?"
Right.
So we all got a soft spot with our parents with what they wish and hope from us. I don't care whatever you do. Okay, if you're gonna become a drug dealer, at least finish high school.
Be a smart drug dealer.
Yeah, learn how to count. So
But then
I finished school, but I was ready to make that transition to go to the military because I did have one foot in the street.
So you still didn't really believe that.
No, I didn't believe that shit, man. Like, here it is. The dream was accomplished by creating the record, but I knew I got to make some money.
But you've been on an arena tour already. You've already been on an arena tour at this point.
Nah, with plug tuning at this point, with plug tuning. It came out during the process of me finishing high school. I didn't start hitting arena tours until I was actually in the year of 88, 89. Not 87, 88, but 88, 89.
So what was the moment where you all said, "Oh shit, this is our career now. We're going to be hip hop stars"?
We end up in the midst of that year, and I'm finishing high school. Dave dropped college. Pos dropped college. The demand of having to be at certain events to push the songs and the records that were already in play for the album to launch.
Right.
We end up now doing a bunch of shows with Too Short and 3 Times Dope, different places, and then next thing you know, it was Too Short and Tone Loc, and then it was Tone Loc and Tika and Bunny. Remember? We
Nah,
like
man. I
the
remember
cars.
that.
Go boom.
Yeah, my man, he knows. He knows.
Hip hop credit established.
Shows with Luke Skywalker, and 2 Live Crew.
Yeah.
These are all so incongruous to me to think of De La and 2 Live Crew together.
Us and what's his name, Young MC. We had some dates. It would be us and Ken Play and Salt and Pepper and Slick Rick, like us and Heavy D and Regina Bell and Tito Puente. Yo, it would be a mix and match of a lot of stuff too. And colleges was having us most of the time back then, so it was just things just happening. Us and Jungle Brothers was a reoccurring thing.
Yeah. When did Native Tongues?
It really took light with Buddy. The song Buddy was what really, we were
That was
already,
on the second record?
That was on 3 Feet High and Rising.
Oh, it was on the first one.
That all happened like instantaneously around that time. We just naturally gravitated. We met in Latin Quarters. We had a few shows together. Then the next thing you know, we meeting up at Mike G's grandmother's house. And we in their grandmother's house, and this house is full of records everywhere you look. Records and sneakers everywhere, like.
His grandma was a sneakerhead like that?
That was dope.
Thank you very much.
That was
Neal.
dope.
Very much.
That was dope.
You're on top, Neal.
Thank you very much. I used to, guys,
That was dope. That was real dope.
I used to write for TV, guys.
I wish you could see
Go to
what Neal's doing right now.
direct.cc.com. You can download my new
That
stand-up
was dope.
If you could see, Neal is all but standing on the table right now, bowing.
Pretty great. And then, okay, so here's what I want to talk about. You must have had I know you guys have a lot of white fans.
Yeah.
And did that bother certain members, not certain members? Did it?
Nah.
Because I feel like that's part of the reason you've been around so long.
I think it bothered Dave for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, Dave has a problem, seriously. All right,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Listen. We do what we can.
That was good.
We do what we can.
That was good. That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
That was good.
No, that was no fucking sneakerhead like that. But that was
No, that
good.
wasn't a sneakerhead at all, but it was something.
That was inside. I was like,
Yeah, that was some Rick
Mason, you
Daylock
gonna
fan
catch this?
shit.
I caught it. That was
Yeah.
good. That was good.
I was waiting for you to catch it. Did I fuck up? Did I do something wrong?
Wait, is that not them?
Oh no.
All right, so Dave had a little problem.
I think in the beginning, Dave had a slight problem because it was constantly things that were coming up that would be like opportunities with Fine Young Cannibals or
Right.
Madonna or U2 or
just opening for them or
opening
doing,
for them. You
Yeah.
know?
And that was felt what, annoying or patronizing, or just why aren't these big black acts? What was the problem?
Thinking that this was a real tough time in hip hop where if you had a certain level of success, people began to feel like you were selling out.
There's also that
There was
as
that.
a black artist, if white people like you too much, you're kind of like, are we doing something fucked up?
Are we doing something fucked up? Are we selling out our people because we're doing more of this and then that,
Right.
You know? And by the design of how things are, there's less bookings in the black community than it is in the
Right.
white community. It's
Just overall.
overall,
period.
yeah.
Right.
And definitely there was a bit more interest about us coming from the white community. People were liking hip hop more because of.
I bet you guys made a killing at colleges.
Oh,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, I
definitely
bet you did. Yeah.
It didn't slow down until like '98.
Yeah, I believe that.
The new influx of kids coming in and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, but funny, it's coming back around.
I believe that
I
too.
think-
I bet. Yeah.
I think we're starting to have that effect that
Jonah wears your shirt
Tito
all the
Puente
time.
and Miles Davis and them was having when we were coming up.
Oh,
'Cause
Well,
I
that's
can't.
what I'm talking about. It's like somehow De La and Tribe and certain groups, they maintain their longevity in the mind of hip hop. Like it just it's not like
And you probably diversified. You did Lollapalooza too, right?
Yeah, we did Lollapalooza.
That must have been like sort of. I
Once-
mean, at a certain.
once-
So what?
once.
What was your? What did Dave make peace with white audience? Shit?
Yeah, he did. He eventually did. I don't know what gave him the epiphany, but
probably
he
a
did.
bank account, the statement check.
After watching how hip hop has been declining in so many ways, and the lifespan of what
Yeah.
it traditionally supposed to have, and what we've been blessed to sustain, especially with all the darkness that goes on with record company shit, you know.
Yeah.
And having a successful touring career next to dealing with all of that crazy convoluted shit, you know, touring has been saving our lives,
Yeah.
literally, you know.
Oh right.
And, you know, to know that not really knowing what you were doing when you were younger and how it's here, a blessing to be here today and still to be doing it as like what you love to do.
Yeah.
You know?
It's 25 years now, right?
Yeah. And
25 years.
yeah, it's
That's
25
crazy.
years this
That's
year.
so crazy.
Word.
Well, that's the thing. That is funny where you almost have to choose. You don't have to choose consciously, but in terms of black artists, black hip hop artists that can sell out big venues that without white fans, are there any? I mean, it's like Dre and Jay-Z, but they
Not
have
anymore,
huge
man.
white.
I mean, here it is. Even back then, you had the records were selling because white people really were buying. They were just afraid to come out. But the popularity of it and it being such a new thing, it brought everybody out. The ticket price wasn't even that strong back then. Come on, like you were able to go to a concert at Madison Square Garden and it'd be like $20, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Now you're talking about $200 a ticket.
Yeah.
The cheapest maybe $75. You
Yeah.
know, so it's already economically by design. Certain people ain't coming.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite album?
Yeah, Balloon Mind State, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I do.
It's so great. That album.
You know,
is so perfect.
the creative freedom that went with it. You know,
That was your third record?
yeah, it was the third album. The freedom that went with it, the decision, you know,
If you haven't
that
heard
we
it.
decided to make based on the change at that time.
That's the one with Maseo. I blow the soul out of this horn.
Mm-hmm.
That's Maseo.
Parker.
Right. Okay. Were you like, hey fellas, can we change that? Anyway, we could maybe say this is Maseo,
Maceo
Parker. Is there
I'm
any
a jazz-
any way to identify him?
Just to clarify who I am. I know I
yeah.
just said who I am, but I'm a different one.
Here's the okay, and that's like one of my favorite songs
It's
ever.
so great, that song.
And the fact that no one's licensed that song for a movie is fuck. In fact, I was like, it's crazy to me. Is that an impossible sample to clear or something?
Well, let me tell you the issue with the 3 Feet High Rising album. If you notice, all the material before Grind Date is not on iTunes or anything or anything affiliated.
So no one could download Balloon Mind State on iTunes?
No.
Whoa.
No.
Tell us about that.
And that's because these are contracts that were all done well before the internet was thought of. And here it is, our sampling record. To put this record out again via iTunes, we have to go into like cutting a whole new deal.
Right.
You know, with the people we sampled from and everything for now the jargon to be, you know, distributed to the universe.
Right.
You know, because that's the jargon they came with.
Right. In perpetuity throughout the universe.
So I'm a Champs fan. I listen to you. I don't know De La, and I think, oh, I'd like to hear that album. What do I do?
Go to YouTube and you can vibe out all day to the fans who put it up there. You
That's
can definitely,
crazy.
But it's definitely not there for
And
purchase.
also, you can just go to MP3Skull.
You know, we've been trying to work.
You're advocating
He
stealing
ain't
his...
fucking making shit off of YouTube. He's not making shit off these records, man. Open your eyes, Moshe.
You're right, man.
He ain't making. Oh, he's making that YouTube money. When other people post his shit, Tommy Boy and post his shit. He's the one
crazy.
posting
No, but
this
that's
shit.
pretty crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
these are classic albums.
I have a confession to make. There is a drug called Provigil, which is basically they give it to Air Force pilots when they have to fly all night, and it doesn't make you speedy or anything. It literally, you just don't need sleep. Mm-hmm. When I take Provigil, I can scat the entire Maceo's entire horn riff by myself. Only when I'm on this drug. I can do it.
Have some? We would love to hear
I
that.
can do it fucking verbatim. I almost am tempted to take it just so I could do. I was freaking myself out. What's the name of that song, by the way?
I'll be blowing.
I'll be blowing. That's correct.
Easy.
Yeah. And then do you guys rhyme over it later on do you rhyme over it later on in the record?
It's the vocal track is called IMIB.
Right. All right.
And the horn track,
which is also
I be
the
pause.
with IMIB.
Pause. Oh, that was pre-pause. though. We
No,
were
it
living
was
in a
pre-pause.
pre-pause
I be
generation.
blowing
You know,
pause. When you guys work out when you release on iTunes, I'd be blowing.
I'd be blowing pause.
Yeah. That record is so. You know what I love about that record? It's fucking sad.
Yeah, parts of it are.
That's
silly too.
fucking.
It is a sad record.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's like really like
But
sad.
then that
and-
Japanese shit is very silly, and I mean,
Yeah.
well, I would be rapping along to the Japanese dude. I mean, I don't know what the fuck he's saying. I mean, I don't even know what he's talking about.
In layman's non-rap terms, they were saying they just came to New York, got a call from De La to come to the studio, and I'm hanging out with my man Maseo.
People in hip hop always be getting calls. Yeah. I just got a call. That record's really sad, and it's like you guys are like not. It doesn't feel like you're over it, but it just feels like you're just like we're clear eyed about what this shit is.
Yeah.
Musically, was it when you said? Could you get better samples? Is that what you meant, or is it like you? How is that different musically from your other records or from your first two records?
The Blue Mind State.
Yeah.
Just knowing where hip hop was going completely at that time. I mean, here come Puff Daddy,
Right.
And everything that was going on, and
Pause.
yeah, for real, right? happened to be, knowing what we had to compete with.
Right.
It was a call of saying, do we compete or we just creatively just go our way?
Right.
And we creatively just went our way, knowing that in the long run it would help us.
It's like
hoping in the long run it will help us by sticking to the guns of what we just want to do musically, as opposed to just trying to mesh with what's going on.
Right.
And the record flopped, but we still feel good about the record. Here it is. As producers, the three of us felt really sound.
Did you guys produce it yourselves?
We produced a lot on our own. We threw it under the collective, where it actually says produced by Prince Paul and De La Soul, but here it is. Ego Tripping I did completely by myself.
Good job.
In the Woods I did by myself. Pos did Break of Dawn.
Jesus.
I used to take
that record.
I remember
bombed?
coming down off acid, listening to Break of Dawn.
Paul did Millie Pulled a Pistol. We all worked on IMIB, which is the one you guys like. Paul actually brought the foundation of it. Dave did the track with. That's when Dave really started coming to life as a producer. He did the track that Biz was on, Stone Age.
But the album is perfect. It's a perfect hip hop album, in my opinion. I mean, it
was a tough time. Things were really changing vastly, and we also waited around for Tribe to finish. I think it was Midnight Marauder at the time. We waited around for them.
Midnight Marauders, by the way, I would just like to put album cover, perfect. You're on the album cover.
Yeah.
And
that's a great album cover. Yeah.
Fucking perfect album cover.
It's a great album, too.
That Lady Robot tour guide.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. That's a great album.
That is a great album.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, Midnight Marauders is a great album. I mean, Low End Theory
is
in
masterpiece, etc.
That's in my perfect album category. But Midnight Marauders is pretty damn up there.
And then, how do you guys come to decisions within the group?
It's tough. I mean, when the magic is there, it's on. But when we're not on the same page, it's 3-4 years, no record. As you can see, 10 years, no record. It could be a lot of good conversation, but it's about putting it into action. And sometimes some people aren't there yet. It takes time to get there. And
Are you guys anywhere near putting an album out now?
I hope we are. I hear a lot of great rhymes. There's always.
Do you need beats?
Creativity.
Neal makes beats.
Truthfully, creativity never stops. And honestly, if you are doing beats,
I'm not doing beats.
Oh, okay.
But he likes sneakers.
I like that you're open.
Because here it is. I go, wow, Neal's doing beats. I would want to hear that, because if you got some crazy shit, it would be bugged out to know that Neal Brennan did a fucking track for Daylight and it's off the hook.
That will be bugged out. And someone get me an MPC. Yeah, I'm going to make some beats.
It's even like how even certain producers came to light with us. A lot of people didn't know who Madlib was for a while, and then when they learned who he was was doing a certain type of production for other people, but the track that he did for us was completely different from what he's been doing. It's.
Are you making beats all the time? Or
I always make beats.
And do you send them to Paz and Dave, or do you just sort of hold
I
on
do.
to
But they're the most ficklest MCs in this business, man.
That makes sense.
Seriously.
In a weird way.
They're really fickle, man. But I give it to them because when they finally connect with something, it's dope. You know what I'm saying?
You must find yourself in the position where one of them likes the beat, rhymes
and
over it, and the other one, and you're like, motherfucker, did you hear what he did?
Yeah,
you can fucking get on this.
Hell yeah.
That's funny.
So really,
yeah.
So your guys' rent is paid from live performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's
Rent,
it, man.
Yeah.
Kids' school tuition, all kinds.
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff.
and you got his son is like.
Well, my son had a scholarship, so it wasn't much of an expense.
But he was one of the best. He's one of the best.
Yeah, he had
players.
a scholarship to Auburn University. He really had a successful 3 years, and then he just declared for the NFL.
Oh wow!
He broke Bo Jackson's record and Cam Newton's record.
But how are his shoes though? How are his cross trainers? That's what I want to know.
Are you? Was that the son that was conceived during? When was he conceived?
He was conceived around Balloon Mind State. Before
Great. That's a
Blue
great
Months Day.
era for everything. You was even making hot
It's
babies
good for
then, man.
sons. It's good
You was
for
making
music.
hot babies.
Right.
You couldn't drop. You could not drop a hit.
Right before Blue Months Day. Yeah. He was my second son.
And are you like? Is it weird to have a son that he must be huge and a amazing athlete?
Yeah.
Is it weird to have a son that can whoop your ass?
He's pretty. Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
He's an NFL player.
He can whoop your ass. I'm sorry, man.
He may be strong, but I have other
You still have a foot in the
I have other
streets.
types of knowledge, and then there's a respect there that we don't have to cross that bridge anyway. So
Is he bigger than you?
No, we about the same size. He's in shape though. He's in tip top shape. Literally.
Who do you like these days, hip hop wise? Young people, young guys. Who do you think is really good?
I like this dude that I'm working with right now. His name is Bill Ray. He's off the hook. He's really dope.
Does he have anything on YouTube, for
Yeah,
instance?
he got a few things on YouTube.
All right.
Bill Ray, check him out.
Bill Ray, yeah. And I like a guy named Vinny Chase.
Oh, yeah, I like Vinny Chase.
Yeah, I like him. I'm trying to see what's happening in New York. Of course, I like Drake. I like, Kendrick. I like who's doing it right now. You know, everybody got stuff I like and don't like.
Soldier Boy.
What's funny is that you
Big
guys
fan.
actually, when how I was saying how Kanye was like the first one to do really like emo records, I was wrong because you guys made it was actually emotional in a way that was like psychological, and there was no bravado to it. You know what I mean? It was just like, this is who we are, and
Right.
we
Genuine.
have complicated lives, and it's not. There was no.
Well, that's your.
I mean, much respect to Kanye. I think we share the same. We embrace the same emotions in our music. Just what he does on when he does his interviews, what he does out in public, he rants a lot.
Yeah.
And
Talking about Kanye West.
yeah, I think he. I get what he's trying to say. It's just that you're not gonna really be heard if you constantly ranting, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And here it is. You are in a position of power, so ranting is unnecessary.
And he's a fucking amazing artist.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
He
I was
got-
saying on here.
He got
He's
the world
7
in his
for
hands,
7.
pretty much. Like you're not gonna shut anybody down by barking like that.
Have you toured with him at all?
Never toured with him. We did a few shows on his come up, but never toured with him. He actually performed on our set when he first came out with Jesus Walk. We was in Australia at a festival called Gatecrasher, and he came on our set and performed Jesus Walk. Like, I love him creatively. I love him musically. I don't really know him personally, but I got a lot of respect for his work. It's inspirational. You know?
It's hard to deny, and that's the only way he could get away with being the person he is by making music that good. If he was a whack, everybody would have been like, "Oh, next." Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
yeah,
get
yeah.
the fuck out
that
of
would
here.
have been the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
So your son is going to be, what is he supposed to, top 10?
That's all determined on how he performs in this combine.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's determined by that. If he happens,
You know about the combine, Moshe?
No,
It's basically, they basically say it's like a slave auction, more or less.
Yeah.
There's
Real talk.
28 football teams,
It's the realest shit. I
and
swear
they
that was some real
have
shit.
these guys run for them,
no.
jump for them, it's fucking, and they measure them. They have to show them their
That is
teeth.
horrifying.
Kidding.
Sound real? No.
More so trying to detect what they already know about their strengths, so they're trying to detect what their weaknesses are.
And they got to take a psychological test.
for the
Really?
next level.
Yeah.
And they take a psychological test. So it's like one big ass job interview.
Is that the
And
only
they-
sport that does
and-
that kind of thing? Do they do that?
Yeah, they don't do that.
NBA to a degree, but not that intense.
Not
Well, it's
like
because
that.
NFL is so dangerous, probably too.
No, what's funny is, and dudes still murder.
right?
NFL players still get through. They do the Wonderlic test.
Man,
and
I
they
aced that
still
psychological
murder.
test. They
and
have no
still murder.
idea.
They're crazy. Is your son? I'm assuming he's a stable kid,
Yeah, he's stable.
and you don't worry about concussions.
How are his teeth though? They good. Strong teeth?
He done had 2 concussions already, but he's okay.
What position does he play? He's running
He's
back.
running back
Yeah. And so he's had 2 concussions in college,
in college.
but you don't really worry about it.
Nah, he's okay. I mean, I do worry, but he's living his dream, man. You
Right.
know, and it's always gonna be come on, look, I'm in the rap game. Look how many times I could have got shot and still can get shot. You know what I mean? So it's all about, him fulfilling his dream and praying for his safety as he's doing it. He's happy doing what he does best,
Right.
So I'm happy for him. I'm like, here it is. I actually support my children in following their dreams, let alone I done did it for a few of my friends already. So for it now to be happening to one of my kids, it's amazing, dog. Like, I've been there for most. I've been there for Common. I've been there for Quali. I've been there for Fife and Tribe on their come up, much as Paul has been there for me. You know what I mean? But to see it actually happening to your child, and here it is. It has nothing to do with music. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It has nothing even to do with what I'm a part of. It's amazing.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't want this to end, but
so good. We could bring it back up again, brother.
Yeah, no,
I'm
we
enjoying
should,
this, man.
There's
a lot of shit to talk about.
Yeah.
Seriously, I got shit. We end up talking about a whole bunch of other shit. But I told him I wanted to tell y'all about this Keith Murray story. But it's
tell us the Keith
too
Murray
long.
story.
Too long.
Tell us. We got
say
time.
goodnight.
We got time.
It's
We
the
got
last
time.
story.
We're not leaving. We're not leaving.
Too long. It's too long.
No. Go. It's not too long. Fuck you. Go.
Ah, shit. Okay. This was 96. Stakes is high. I lost a whole lot of weight around that time. I was like Forrest Gump that year. And I ended up getting like modeling opportunities. This when everybody was coming
Hilarious.
out. This when everybody was coming out with their clothing line.
Yeah.
And Tommy Hilfiger was reintroducing himself because here comes Sean John and everybody doing their thing. And, he called me, Keith Murray, Lisa Leslie. It was so many different people that was a part of this. And it started from the Waldorf Astoria. We end up downtown later that night at Quincy Jones's Vibe Party.
And you were shooting the whole day.
Shooting the whole day and doing runway shit.
Got it.
And then the end of the night was the Vibe Party, performing in the clothes we were modeling. Keith Murray was the one completely off the hook the whole day. He smoked a lot of drugs, so he having his antics. By the time we get through the day, we get downtown to the Vibe Party. At the end of the night, the party's starting to get thin. We run into each other. He start talking this, Mace. He high as fuck. I know he high as fuck. I'm now nervous about my ride home. The label shafts me. Tommy Boy shaft me. I don't have no ride. And then Keith Murray goes, I got you, fam. I got you. Get you home, fam. I was like, yo, I got two of my dudes with me, man. He's like, I got you, Maseo. He's like, you gonna ride with me and Reggie. He's like, you gonna ride with me and Reggie, and we gonna go up to the Waldorf, and then we gonna send you home. You know what I'm saying? I go, all right. I was like, where's Reggie? He talking about Redman. Yeah. He's like, you hear that motherfucking music? You hear that music that's riding around? Yeah, you hear him? He said after the show, that's all he been doing. Riding around waiting for me, listening to his own album.
So he was just driving around.
Just driving around in his 4Runner. His Redman had a 4Runner at this time. And he's riding around just listening to his shit. The music got closer. He pulled up. Here we go. What up, Maseo? All the love. He get out the car. He's like, yo, we got to take Mace up to the Waldorf, and I got to get him home. The label fronted on him. We get in the car. He getting ready to light this blunt and shit, and we riding. He's like, and he's just talking about, the new transition in his life. And then he go to pass me the weed, and I go, nah, I'm good, right? So he stops the car, and he goes, yo, what's up, motherfucker? I know you smoke weed. He's like, you did this shit to me last time. He's like, I saw you at the rehearsal studio. I had some weed, was trying to blow with you, and you was like, nah. And he's like, you, motherfucking Pete Rock and Diamond D, y'all motherfuckers undercover weed smokers. Fuck out of here. Why you not smoking with me? I was like, all right, being that you asked me why I don't smoke with you, I'm going to tell you why. Keith Murray goes, because he thinks we smoke dust. That's why. He thinks we smoke dust. I was like, that's exactly why. I got two of my peoples with me from my neighborhood. They cracking the fuck up. I was like, yeah, that's exactly why I don't smoke with y'all. I said, if you really notice when you do see me smoke, I got my own shit. I always have my own shit. He's like, yeah. I was like, he's like, Mace. Then Redman goes, but Mace, I don't smoke that no more. like really, like, I don't do that no more. I was like, okay, then what's in that blunt right now? I grew up in Brooklyn. I've smoked dust twice in my whole life. I have, and
Two
I
of
know
the
what
best moments of your life.
I
Correct?
know what the shit smell like. One time I smoked it knowingly, pop locking with my friends and shit, and the shit looked crazy when
That's
niggas
like
was
the
on that
best
shit.
thing you could do. I feel like.
I swear to you.
That or do the
Smoke dust. I
scat
smoked
to
one
IMIB.
dust. Smoked dust one time knowingly, popping with my friends, and then another time they would come. My friends from Brooklyn come to visit, ride out with me to Long Island to a party, and they lit up in the car, and it was a dust joint then, and I didn't catch it until it was a little thick in the car, and it got this real thick minty smell.
Right.
You know. So I caught that shit riding in the car with them, and I'm like, what's in that shit? He was like, yo, man, it's just some good Cali Chronic, man. I'm able to get that shit. Like, and it was when it was like, you wasn't able to get good weed in New York as often, you know. But he's like, I got some good Cali Chronic. I was like, Keith Murray goes, I put a little bonbons in there. Yo, I'm not going to tell you no lie. Like, hanging with them, for a hot second, I was almost that comfortable to take a hit. I really was.
Yeah.
I literally was. And I was like, as soon as I was about to take a hit, I was like, all right, let me hit that shit. Keith Murray was like, nah, I told you I'm trying to grow up and be like you. And he really would not let me hit that shit. He was like, nope, nah, man. He's like, you my role model. Fuck all that. Wally high on dust. And then I'm like, yo, we get up to we having actual fun. Like, and here it is, my dudes is like, yo, we should hang out with them for a little while. I'm like, all right. I was like, I'm going to see what they say. Get up to the Waldorf Astoria. I was like, yo, come kick it for a while. Keith Murray was like, nope, you can't come. He said, Maseo, he said, we about to do something that's so ungodly that you...
Jesus Christ.
Straight up.
Did he tell you what it was?
He was like, we got some bitches upstairs, and you got to go home. Like, I got a genuine relationship with a lot of these rappers. A lot of them may come off fake to one another, but I don't really have that with a lot of cats.
Right.
And it's such a different place that feels like family when I'm with them, you know, where, like, that genuine moment with Keith Murray was like, he really didn't want me to be a part of no wild shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I'm sure there's other cats around there where they'd be like, come on, you know, fuck all that. It was like he was genuine about, nah, I have fun with you all day, but how we about to wild out right now, nah. First of all, I got a whole nother image of you, Mace, and if it is something different, I don't want to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I kind of took it. Here it is, you know, to keep it really 100. I got an older son. He's in jail. To keep it really real with you, like, he's by another woman, and due to those circumstances, he's in jail. He ran into Keith Murray in jail.
Wow.
Yeah. And my son called me and was like, Daddy, Keith Murray's in here, you know? He said straight up and down, he don't want you to know. He don't want you to know that he's in here. He's like, don't tell your father I'm in here. I was like, word? I was like, yo, man, you get to him, you see him, tell him I love him to death, man. And when he get out, holler at me. I was like, if he in the county, I know he ain't in there long, you know?
Right.
So just tell him to holler at me when he get out. There's still life at this. Like, I would love to work with him. And this was recent. This was like maybe all but 3 months ago.
Wow.
You know.
Well, everybody,
So you're a good father in the world and a good hip hop father too. Pause. Listen. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks,
Yo,
man.
this was
this
great.
was fun, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Word up.
Come on, man.
They're
This
shaking
was
hands
crazy
right
before
now.
y'all came, man. It was
Expressing
wild.
old friendship. They're
Yeah.
icing me out.
Yo, good meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm getting a handshake too, everybody.
Don't ruin it.
You
Don't
fucked with
cheapen
the
our
champs.
friendship, man.
One more episode down. Thank you all for listening.
All right, peace.
Now you're fucking with the champs.
Wait, now I am.
Niggas